Hi, I'm Caroline and I work at Chattanooga Hair Station on Broad Street, and I'm here today to tell you how to achieve some really beautiful beachy waves. You may have seen this all over Pinterest or Facebook. It's probably that hairstyle that you're like, how on earth do I get that without looking like either Shirley Temple or my curls falling out in 5 minutes? So I'm going to show you the recipe that I've figured out for this look, and I hope you enjoy. What you're going to need today is you're going to need a curling iron. I would recommend 1 inch for short hair, 1.5 or 1.25 inch for medium to long hair. 2 inches will probably get too big and might not give you the same effect that you want. You're also going to need a blow dryer, and I would use medium heat if you have damaged hair, and you can use a higher heat if you've got pretty healthy hair, but just be careful and don't direct the heat directly onto your hair shaft. You're also going to need some volumizing products. I would recommend some Unite products. That's what I'm going to be using today for volume at the root, and you're also going to need some products that will give you some grip on that clean hair that you're working with. So today we're going to be doing a video on how to achieve beachy waves on medium length hair. You can also translate this into longer hair as well, but I think it looks especially cute on sort of a longer bob or a lob, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and wash her hair, and then I'm going to blow dry it pretty smooth with volume at the root so we can get that really messy look on even clean hair, which typically is a little bit harder to look messy. So we'll get going on that. So I've got her hair clean now and ready to go, and I'm going to use the Unite's Elevate Mousse right at her root because we want to make sure, gotta shake it, want to make sure we get lots of volume directly at the root. Just going to put it directly at the root because it's a very stronghold mousse, and if you take it too far into the ends, you could definitely end up with a little bit too much grip, and that can make your blow dry a little bit difficult. I'm also at the root going to kind of double up and use Unite's Liquid Dust. This can be used wet or dry, and I'm actually going to use it for both in this look. But for right now, I'm mostly going to concentrate it at the crown and right in the bang area. And this is going to add extra grip because, again, with clean hair, it can be hard to make it look messy. So this is going to give you that grip that you need to let the curls stay. And last but not least, I'm going to do just a little pea-sized amount of the Unite Smooth and Shine Styling Cream on the ends for shine so we don't get frizzy ends, because we want messy hair, but we don't want frizzy hair. So I'm going to rough dry her hair about 90% dry before I go in with a round brush. There's no real point in using a round brush unless your hair is mostly dry anyway. You're just using added tension that could damage the hair. So I'm going to go in with my round brush again at 90% dry, and to add volume, I'm going to be pulling the hair in the opposite direction that I would normally lay it. So if I want her to have volume through here, I'm going to pick up this hair and blow dry it this way so that the cuticle is directed this way, and when you lay it back over, it's kind of standing up on itself. So now I'm going to section her hair into 3 parts. I'm going to start right at her part and take equal sections from both sides of her part. And that's really going to form her bang area when I'm styling. Twist that up. I'm going to take the section just about above her ear, a little higher than above her ear. These don't have to be perfect, it's just to kind of help get it out of your way so you can start from the bottom. And then I'm going to take one more section. I'm going to take one more section and just leave out the very bottom piece of the hair. If you have really thin hair, you might could get away with just 2 sections. But Claire here has got some pretty thick hair, so we're going to work with 3 here. So the bottom and the middle section are not as important for the blow dry, so all I'm going to be doing is blow drying them smooth, and then I'll show you what I do when I get to the top. So So now that I've reached the upper sections of her head, the most important thing is achieving volume. So I'm going to be taking pieces when I blow dry, and I'm going to be aiming them upwards. And that will do the same thing I talked about in the rough dry of laying the cuticle the opposite direction that we're going, so that when we lay it back, it'll stand up on itself. Another thing I wanted to mention about the blow dry, take your brush right at the root and just give it a little bit of a twist before you start pulling through, and that'll give you more grip and tension, and that helps with shine and with making sure that you can manipulate the hair you want to. Now for this last section, I'm going to make sure to blow dry all of these, even up to the front of the face, back and up for the same reason, to achieve volume. Now I'm going to section the hair again for the curls, and I'm going to take pretty large sections, and you can probably do your hair in 2 sections, 3 if you have really, really thick hair. Now before I start curling, I'm going to use this liquid dust again, and so on dry hair, when you use this product, I would again keep it concentrated at the root, and that's going to give it that grip that we need for those beachy waves and for extra volume. Now before you begin curling, make sure any product that you have in the hair is dry. If you put your hot curling iron on a wet hair, it's basically going to boil the hair like noodles. So let's not do that today. I always curl the front pieces away from the face. This gives you a picture frame effect and really frames the face and flatters the bone structure. Okay, so I'm starting in the center of the hair, and I'm going to go ahead and release. And a lot of you will have spring curling irons. It's the same concept. And I'm going to twist it up to the root, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch of hair out and then drop it. And then the most important step is you're going to want to pull on that curl and then leave it alone. Don't touch it until the very end of your style. You want to make sure that your curls cool before you touch them, or they won't set properly and they won't last you as long. Now this curl, I'm going to go towards the face. So the same concept, doing in the middle, unclasping, getting some more hair in there, leaving about 1 inch out. Then I'm going to release and pull. And then the next, I'm going to curl away from the face. So we're doing an alternating curl pattern, because if you curl all in the same direction, all of your hair will look very smooth and put together, but won't necessarily give you the textured beachy look. So this is going to make sure that your curls are still separate, but have a lot of movement to them. Go away from the face, leaving about 1 inch of hair out at the bottom, releasing and pulling. If you're curling your own hair, I would recommend doing a lower temperature. If you have chemically treated hair, like if you have colored hair, for instance, I would recommend something between 320 and 350. If you have natural hair, you can go to a higher temperature, but I would just be careful, especially if you're not used to curling your hair and you might be a little bit slower at it. Definitely allow yourself the time with the curler on the hair by using a lower temperature. I'm using a higher temperature because I can be a bit faster since I've curled a head of hair a time or two. So, by the way, I'm using a 1 1/4 inch curling iron. I like to use this on a variety of hair lengths. I feel like it achieves the wave look better to have a larger curling iron, even on shorter hair like Clara's. If you've got really long hair, you might want to go up to about 1 1/2 inch curling iron for this look. It just kind of depends. If you've got really short hair, I might recommend just having 1 inch curling iron. But just kind of go with whatever tools you have at home. You could even do this with a wand. Just when you're done wanding, just pull on that hair strand again, like I said, and it'll give you that similar effect. Okay, as I'm curling the top sections, I'm going to take slightly smaller sections than I was taking before. This is just to add more texture and movement. So the more variations of sizes and directions that you can put into the hair, the more textured and beachy it'll look. So now I'm going to be using the Kevin Murphy Hair Resort. This is for beachy hair, so it's the perfect thing for this look. And I'm just going to take a small amount in my hand, about that much, and then I'm going to work it between my hands. I want to make sure it's pretty evenly coated so I don't get any big globs in your hair. And I'm going to start from underneath so the excess of the product is throughout your hair, and I'm going to shake the hair. You can also kind of mimic this by turning upside down and just kind of shaking out your hair. And I'm gonna scrunch a little bit. Basically, you just wanna mess it up. You want it to look like you rolled out of bed looking like this.
I did.
I did. You could just fool everyone. And if you want to focus on a certain piece, you can kind of take the product and pinch it and twist it to kind of aim it where you want it to go. And I especially like to focus a lot of the scrunching through the crown. And voila.